I'd like to invite one of the many artist domestic workers, Mary Renee Rose Kayaban. Sorry for my pronunciation. A migrant domestic worker working in Taiwan. You have already seen her artwork. So yeah, are you here, Mary?
Yes, yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes. How come so beautiful your drawing? Did you learn it by yourself?
We just get the idea from our experiences.
Oh, tell me more about your artwork. We are also eager to learn.
We had this engraving art workshop. The TIWA is a non-government organization who introduces DCU to the engraving artists, engraving work artists. That's why we had this project. The story comes out with a time with the boss. It's a story around the tables of every migrant domestic caretakers. We don't consider this as bad stories, but these are true experiences of every domestic workers in every household of their employers, of our employers, I mean. So these are precious stories we had. So let me tell you first, what are the stories behind of every artwork we made? There are 4 artwork we had. So since there are only 3, I can see only 3. But I will tell you, the first story is we had this happy and sad stomach, which means there are workers who receive. Oh, there's a noise.
No worries, go on.
Okay. The first artwork has the happy and sad stomach, which means some workers are receiving enough food and some are not. And then the second artwork, I don't want to live in fear, because this worker has no courage and very afraid to ask her employer that she needs enough food to eat. And the third artwork is a crying worker who eats alone because she was discriminated by boss family. And this separates her while this family were having meals. The fourth artwork is a worker who found her happiness by eating alone, because while she's eating, she can enjoy her meal while using her mobile phone and can have video call with her family or watching video on social media. That was the stories of every artwork we had. So on our third session, we made the processing of transferring the process of transferring the printout from the paper to the wood and start engraving. So I'll tell you first, what are the materials we used. We had a piece of wood, plywood, an onion skin, a carbon paper, and the engraving tools, which if you can imagine, just like a ball pen. The other part, the end part, has this wood which you can use. You can
like print and
you can push to the wood. And then the other point is the metal that has different cuts or different points that you can engrave on the wood. Then the process is, the first is the onion skin will be put on top of the drawing to sketch again your drawing. Then Sorry,
No worries. I can see what the process
so
there.
many processes to prepare
Yeah, I remember in
potatoes.
our childhood day we used potatoes to to
Potatoes.
do the craving. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second process is we need to reverse the onion skin so that when you put on top of the wood, then the sketch, because you will sketch again uh the your first drawing, your original
I
drawing, you will
see.
sketch again on top of the onion skin. Then
One question. Are you you really talking about onion skin, the one that makes you
no, it's
cry?
a paper. It's a paper like we call it onion skin, right? If
Oh,
you can, uh, I remember because before when I was in
in
studying,
paper.
we call it onion skin. It's like a bond
Okay,
paper.
okay,
It's a very
okay.
thin one. That's why it's like an onion skin.
So how do you find all this process? What is the most like impressed or something that touch you most, or something that you feel so rewarding in the process? Because you talk about like there's several steps and process, and while we can see you are bringing sisters together, you work with the NGOs, the TIWA, the Taiwan International Workers Association there. So surely that I can see some young guy, Taiwanese perhaps. So in the whole process, what do you find the most rewarding or impressive, or that something strike you?
I can use this if I will retire. I can use this talent or what I've learned in this project.
Yeah.
I can make a business someday. The-
Mhm.
it's a we can say this a manual printing on T-shirt, right? And then we can sell it, so we can have a profit like that.
Do make one for me when I come to Taiwan. I want
Yes,
one, and I want more 10, 20 for our sisters around Asia and Hong Kong.
yeah.
Yeah. Are there any challenges in all making this? Because when we
Yeah.
were doing organizing, the domestic workers, when they first come, they said, yeah, no, I can't make this. I never draw. I don't draw. I can't speak.
If,
They always
if
say,
it
I
is
can't
your
speak.
first time using the tool, you'll be afraid you might damage the wood, because if uh, actually it was also my first time, so I'm afraid how to use the tools. I might damage the wood. That's why just be careful. Just slowly or carefully or slowly, you will learn slowly how will you use the tools and how can you engrave if especially if you are not an artist. That is the most challenging for me.
Now I can see you are an artist, and every one of us can be an artist. We
Yeah.
all can make this. So did you give this and show this to employer? What do they say? Did you talk to
We
them about what was drawn in the painting? Like
haven't
showing the
made
stomach, showing the calculator with little wages.
uh,
How they receive this?
I think we have this exhibit later. I don't know when yet. We don't have any schedule yet about this exhibit, but maybe the employers might see our work because especially the theme of this artwork is dine with the boss. So uh, every employer can see how we as migrant workers experience in every household of these employers.
Yeah, I hope
They
they
will
won't
notice.
deny it. When we were picking up the labor hotline, when there is a domestic workers employer calling, the first thing they will say, I'm a good employer, I don't discriminate them. Then they start to talk about, yeah, I asked the domestic workers to come come home by 7 on day offs when it should be when day off supposedly should be 24 hours. And
Yes.
then the employer said, I'm a good employer, I give lipsticks. Yeah, I don't know you have this experience about all these discrimination we face, but then the employers still want to show that they are good, they are good, but we do have good employers though.
Yes,
So
yes,
tell
yes.
me about something about the campaign you have in Taiwan as migrant domestic workers, caretakers, especially are there special issue that you are facing in this pandemic time? And do you think all these expression and representation of art carrying the voices and demands of migrant domestic workers will help you? And what do you hope they can respond to you?
For me, the most challenging is having day off. The what we say, the mandatory, or the we should employers should follow or give us not we don't need to ask their permission, because we already agreed, we both parties agreed that we had this day off in every week, right? But how come we here in Taiwan, we need to ask their permission first before we can go out? Me, honestly, I always ask permission. Why do I need to ask permission? We already agreed in our contract, right? But if so, no questions anymore. If even you will not permitted me to go out to take my day off, I will still go out because I need it. If you as employers, they are human, right? We also are humans. We need rest. That is my only problem whenever I take day off.
Yes, day off is just human rights, basic human rights. Everybody needs some rest, otherwise you will become crazy and have mentally being
Anxiety,
breakdown. Yeah, so we have
yeah.
to have our own life, have to have our own learning and study, to meet our own friends, to have a taste of our homeland food when we were working away. We have to send money home. We have to talk to our own families who are away from home. Yeah, thanks so much, Mary,
Okay,
for
thank you,
such
thank
a
you for
sharing.
listening.
And yeah, for the participants, if you have any question and suggestion, if you are also doing some artwork, writing, drawing, whatever, yeah, please share with everybody. And one last question. Yeah, what advice you will give to other workers on creating all these creative things, or like creative work or creative art or writing, or what will you be your suggestion, and why they should start to do this?
Because since we are working here and we are not permanently living or residing here in where we are working, we should also uh, give ourselves to learn other things that in when we are about to for good, we can still have another other profit or um, source of income if we are not working regularly, like as what we are doing now.
Mhm. Yeah, so
I mean, we need to gather some other learnings on how we can help ourselves if we are not working anymore.
yes,
Yeah,
we must think about ourselves to save
correct.
money for
Yeah,
our own selves. Don't give all the money to your family. Leave money for yourself to do savings, to prepare for reintegration, to do some investment, to to be to
Prepared for
make
our
sure to
talent.
prepare for your own future,
Yes.
because we always think of the others and forget ourselves.
Yeah.
That is a no. Yeah, and I remember some brother here in the chat earlier said talk about financial independence. Yeah, so thank you very much. Very stunning work that take our breath away. Really, really touched. So please reserve some for us. We
Yes,
will
yes, yes.
definitely want some. Yeah, thank you.